Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for the support I received for my first tutorial. I'm glad and happy my tutorial helping new artists. Keep watching and keep supporting, things will get interesting every week. Today, we're gonna create a brand new tutorial how to create a composition. On this process, we're going to learn different methods of creating compositions and edit an existing composition and specially understanding the composition settings. As promised, I'll try my best to create within 3 minutes. And end of the tutorial, let's try to create a simple text fade in and out animation. Without a delay, let's fire the clock. So we created a new project. First thing what we need to know is what is a composition. Composition is a workspace where we can import assets and create an animation or an edit. This is called a composition. So let's create a workspace. There are few methods we can create the composition. The first method is go to composition menu, create a new composition. You can press Ctrl or Command key on your keyboard along with N. The third method, if you notice this project window, there's a small button, it's called create a new composition. Click on create new composition. The first thing on the composition window was we have to enter a name. Let's enter a name. Below the composition name, there are 3 tabs. First one is called basic, then advanced and 3D renderer. Advanced we will go through when we start working on animations, and 3D renderer we will go through when we start working on 3D layers. For now, let's go to the basics. In the basics, first thing what we need to define is something called the size of the workspace. If you click on the preset, you will be listed with a standard setting which is used in the broadcast industry. But there are times where these presets won't help us. Example, if you are creating an animation for social media, Instagram, or else if not as me, you are creating a content for an event stage. Most of this time this preset won't help us. So it's always better to understand the basic settings of the composition. But for now, let's select HDTV 1080-25 preset. Below the preset drop down, width define the pixel of your composition width. Height defines the pixel of your composition height. Lock aspect ratio helps you to lock the values based on the ratio. Pixel aspect ratio. Mostly we will not be using these options, but these days we use a square pixel aspect ratio as a standard, which is 1:1 ratio. Frame rate. A movie or a video is collective of images transition faster to create a motion. So we see them like a perfect movie. So the frame rate means within a single second defines the number of image transitions. Resolution means it's the quality of your preview. Duration. Duration is your length of the movie. When you create a new composition, it's always listed on the project window as we have spoken on the first tutorial. If you select the composition here, you can see the details. So the name of the composition will be listed here, and the resolution and the pixel aspect ratio of it, duration of your composition, frame rate we are working on. If we want to change any of the settings for our composition, go to composition and select composition setting. So when you select the composition setting, you will be prompted with the same screen as before. You can change the duration. Example, let's make this a 15-second animation and press OK. Let's create a simple animation. First, we have to create a new composition, define the workspace, go to composition, press new, or as we discussed, Control new, or click on this icon. Enter a name and let's select a preset HDTV 1080-25 and 10 seconds. Okay, this is our timeline. This is our composition. Currently my composition have zoomed out. Let's click on that and fit up to 100%, or else you can use your mouse, scroll down and scroll up to zoom. But currently when you look at our composition looks blank. What we need is, first thing, we need to create a small background. Go to layer, select new, and from here we can say create a solid. We'll go through this process each and every layer when we start learning the layers. For now, create a layer. Solid is just a layer with a solid color. So we can say solid name, background, select the color. I like to have a yellow color background or maybe a bit orange. Okay, and press OK. And when we create a layer, a solid layer, it automatically imports into the timeline. There you go, you created a background here. So we'll create a small text where it fades in and fades out. We're gonna learn a little bit of animation here, don't worry about it. We'll learn a detailed animation process when we start going through the animation topic. Next thing, we need to create a text. So the same way, go to layer, new text. On the text, let's type. So what we need to do is we need to change the font, we need to make it a little bit bold, and all these changes we can go through this character section. I'm going to click on the fonts and let's select Helvetica 65, and I need a bold font, and I need to increase my font size. To align a text, you need to go to the paragraph. Go to paragraph, and from here click on the center text, and we need to now animate the transparency or opacity, we can call it. So to do that, click on this small arrow in front of our text layer, go to transform, click on the transform. The position, you can move wherever you want. Scale, you can scale up and down, and you can rotate your text. What we need to do is right now, we need to animate opacity. If you want to animate any of the properties, if you notice in front of all these options or all these properties, there's a timer. Using this timer, we're gonna tell at this time. So first we need to define the time. The value of the property is gonna be this. For an example, let's say at the beginning, transparency or opacity should be 0. Type 0. Press on this timer. As soon as you press timer, if you notice on your timeline, you get a small icon. So this diamond shape icon says at this time, which is the time is 0. You can check here or you can check here. The time is 0. The value of the opacity should be 0. What we need to do is at the beginning it should be 0, and at the first second the text should appear completely. Move your timer. At the 1 second, our value of the opacity should be 100. There you go, our first animation. From 4th second, what I need is I need him to fade out. By 5th second, it should be completely fade out. So what we need to do is, first thing, opacity should be 100. But if you notice, there is no icon here, the animation icon here. To do that, what we can do is we can copy and paste this icon. So copy the value icon, ctrl C, and move your time where do you need, and select the layer and select your property and ctrl V. There you go. We copied the same value. Then by 5 seconds, it needs to completely fade out. So 5th second, there you go, 0, done. There you go. We created our first animation. By pressing space, you can play the animation and see. Finally, I managed to reduce it to 3 minutes. On the process of explaining few of the options, the whole tutorial went up to 8 minutes video. I tried to explain much as possible and edited for 3 minutes. On the description, I have linked to the extended version of this tutorial explaining options in detail. Hope this tutorial helps everyone to understand all about compositions. If you like this video, please press like. If you don't like the video, again don't hesitate to press like and support me by subscribing and pressing the bell button. Let's meet next week with a brand new tutorial about layers. If you missed the After Effects interface tutorial, please find the link below, or if you need detailed explanation about the composition settings, please find the link below for that video. Thank you everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next week with a new tutorial and stay safe.